Nothing left to lose now. Everything to prove now. Long as I'm alive, I'ma fight back. My fire never cools down. I'm about to catch fire. Yeah, I'm about to catch fire. Get ready for the new me. Get ready for the new me. Try to hold me down and I go higher. Try to put me out and I go louder. I'm a fighter, a survivor. Stand back while I catch fire.
This is the U.S. Open of Surfing post-show, Huntington Beach, day number 7 of the U.S. Open of Surfing, Huntington Beach, presented by Shiseido. It's been a long week and a lot of surfing going down, but it all ended up today. We had a men's champ for the first time here. We had a brand new star on the women's side of the field. I'm Kaipo Guerrero, Rosie Hodge, Mitchell Salazar. Rosie, your thoughts on today's action?
Do you know what? I think the best people won. I think throughout the event, these two people, they've been standouts. Caity Simmers, we've seen her coming in the rearview mirror, and Griffin Colapinto taking the first big win of his career.
I know.
Mitch, what do you think about the women? They started off today.
I thought they started off incredibly well, and the fact that Caitlin Simmers was able to defeat 2 big superstars in the semifinal and then in the final, that was very impressive, Kaipo, but I really feel that it was just her aggressiveness on the big set waves that got her the win.
Are we seeing a new star in the way of Caitlin Simmers, just 15 years old? She's going to turn 16, I believe, just in a couple days this month, and just showing just prodigious talent as we take a look at the road to the finals. Gabriella Bryant came up in semifinal number 1, defeated the veteran Coco Ho, and Caitlin Simmers, Rosie, took down Courtney Collog.
Yeah, interesting. I think if you had looked at these matchups on paper and knowing how much success Courtney Conlong's had out here, how much success Coco Ho has had in her career, you'd say Gabriella, Caity Simmers, they were coming in as the underdogs.
And we had the teenage final, Mitch.
And that's what I feel. Like, I just feel that Caitlin was able to overcome an obstacle that was so large in the semifinal that the final was basically just another heat for her after that.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the final. Couple of teenagers out there in the top 2 positions. Caitlin Simmers, just aggressive surfing, bro.
So aggressive and so mature. Her surfing is just so well thought out. Technically, she's so sound.
And the connection on the inside for a strong finish for Simmers. Gabriella Bryant, Mitch, she's a rising star of her own.
No, and she posted a couple decent scores in the final too. Controlled her emotions well, knew how to use priority, but unfortunately for her, her wave selection wasn't as great as Caitlin's, and that's what got Simmers the win.
8,000 points for a second place, 10,000 points for a first. As we look at this Challenger Series, these 2 young ladies have put themselves in really good position for qualification, Rosie, especially Caitlin Simmers, with surfing like that.
Well, you think about it, we've got 4 events on this Challenger Series. This is the first one to have 10,000 points in your back pocket going into the rest of the season. That almost lets you kind of get that motion of freewheeling now with that momentum.
There's the women today, and from there, we can talk about the men and the men's finals. The men, Rosie, we started off with the quarterfinals, actually, for the men. So they had, you know, the road to the final for them was a little bit longer today on finals day, but there was some great surfing and some challenging conditions.
Definitely. I think throughout this event, when I think back to that day 1 and what everyone has been through today, it's been endurance, Capo. Like, these guys, every single day, they've had to show up and dig deep for massive performances.
Yeah, Mitch, let's take a look at the men's road to the final. As I said, this morning, we started off with the quarterfinals with some great matchups and a couple of upsets. Quarterfinal number 2, Mitch, Nolan Raposa taking down Kalohe Andino.
Yeah, and that was a big heat win for him. Moved up into the semifinals. A lot more points in the semis compared to the quarters, so a great start to the Challenger Series for Nolan. But how about Jake Marshall making it all the way from quarter number 1, first heat of the morning, and it starts in the last heat of the day, too.
And what about redemption? Griffin first beating Liam O'Brien, who beat him in
the semis.
2019, and then taking out Kanoa Igarashi, who won the final against him in 2018.
That's right. Let's take a look back at the final and the challenge between Jake Marshall and Griffin Colapinto. Jake Marshall, Rosie's been surfing solid throughout this full event, 7 days worth of solid surfing.
I'm so happy for Jake Marshall. I think he so deserves to be here. Cool moment for him to share this final with Griffin Colapinto, and another guy who's going to be looking really solid for qualification come the end of these 4 Challenger events.
Here we go. Griffin Colapinto, he was a runner-up, and now he can claim a victory here, Mitch.
And his first victory at this level too, Kaipo, which is just incredible when you see his past results in bigger events, say on the championship tour as well. But for, you know, the first time in his young career, he's got a victory at the U.S. Open of Surfing. And as I told you before, I thought Jake Marshall was the best surfer in this event with priority. Unfortunately for him, he just came up against the most informed surfer in Griffin Colapinto.
Well, and the guy with the best board, I feel, just sliding, gliding, S-ing all the way to the shore break was Griffin Colapinto. And what a victory it is. Partying the shore break with the Reckless Isolation crew. Well, we talked about it, but let's do it. Let's crown our champs this year. And for that, I'm going to throw it to Chris Cote for the presentation.
Thank you, team. And I want to say, in the words of the legendary Herbie Fletcher, the thrill is back. Welcome back to the best surf fans on the planet. Surf City, USA, Huntington Beach came correct this week. An incredible 7 days of surfing in the books. It's so awesome to see all of your beautiful faces down here throughout the week, showing your love and support for the surfers doing what they do best. Let's hear it one more time for all of our surfers in the field. So this is the first stop of 4 on the 2021 Challenger Series. The surfing that you saw this week means that these surfers are one step closer to potentially qualifying for the championship tour in 2022. So big moves and big things starting right here in Huntington Beach. I want to say a big thank you to Shiseido, our presenting partner for this event, our global partners, Michelob Ultra, Jeep, Hydro Flask, Red Bull, Oakley, and Expedia. Our event partners, of course, Visit Huntington Beach, IKEA, Waterloo, BF Goodrich, Frontier, Flying Embers, Super 73, Foo Wax, and DraftKings. It takes a village to put on an event like this, and we thank our sponsors wholeheartedly for their support throughout. We want to thank, of course, the locals, Huntington Beach peers, some of which are right out there, surf stoked as always. Thank you for lending us your break for the week. Now it's time to take it back. We want to welcome Huntington Beach Mayor Kim Carr here on stage to help with our trophy presentation, alongside Travis Logie from WSL's Tours and Competition. We'd like to also acknowledge the ultimate locals. We want to formally recognize that Huntington Beach is the traditional homelands and shared territories of the Aha Shaman and Tongva peoples. It is known by the place name Luku Pagma and the Aha Shaman and Tongva languages. The Aha Shaman people have lived here in the place we call Orange County for over 10,000 years and are still here stewarding the land alongside surfers, environmentalists, and others who care about our shared coastline. We thank them for their ongoing presence and participation and blessing of this event. And now, your stars of the week. Allow me to introduce the 2021 U.S. Open men's runner-up from Encinitas, California, Jake Marshall. An epic finish for Jake Marshall. Has to be one of the biggest finishes of your young career.
Definitely. I mean, watched the U.S. Open my whole life. Been up here so many times before I was even competing just to watch all my favorite surfers. So to end up making the finals is awesome. And thanks to all the fans out here. You guys, it's great to have people back and supporting us. And just really excited to be back competing, so it's super fun.
Big things coming for Jake Marshall. Your 2021 U.S. Open Women's runner-up from the beautiful island of Kauai. Let's hear it for Gabriella Bryan. Gabriella, that smile on your face says it all. One step closer to qualifying for the championship tour.
Yeah, thank you so much. I had a blast out here all week, and I had so much support, and I'm forever grateful, and I'm really excited to continue on to Europe.
Let's hear it for your runner-ups. And now the moment we've all been waiting for since day one of competition. Allow me to introduce your winner of the 2021 U.S. Open of Surfing Huntington Beach, presented by Shiseido. Let's hear it for San Clemente's own Griffin Colapinto! Griffin, what a way to do it. Meditating your way to a win, the biggest win of your career, and a massive statement victory here at the pier.
Yeah, that was the biggest win of my career for sure. And thank you to everyone from Huntington for coming out today. That was a big moment in my life, and I'm glad I was able to share with everyone here and everyone from San Clemente, my family, my friends, and the Reckless Isolation crew. If the movie's coming out soon, so when it comes out, go watch it. It's going to be sick.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. And now your 2021 U.S. Open Women's Champion, 15-year-old phenom from Oceanside, California, Caitlin Simmers! Caitlin, a huge, huge victory, 15 years old, doing big things here in Huntington Beach. I know you're a woman of few words, but let this crowd know what this victory means for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I do so much contests here, and I get a lot of practice, so yeah, it's always tough, but it was kind of fun right now, and I mean, not really, but yesterday was fun, but today was a little tough, but yeah, I'm stoked that I got a couple and could get a win.
Big things coming from Caitlin Simmers. Ladies and gentlemen, your champions of the U.S. Open of Surfing, Huntington Beach, presented by Shiseido. Support for surfing at an all-time high. Thank you so much to all of you fans for making the noise and bringing the positivity and joy to this event. We love you all. Can't wait to come back next summer. Back to you in the booth.
That is just great. And with this is the rewards. Caitlin Simmers showing a bright future and a much-due victory for Griffin Colapinto.
Oh, yeah, and you can tell how everyone, he's always taken everyone along with him on his journey, and now I think, just to scroll through Instagram, there are so many people congratulating Griffin Colapinto because there are so many people that are huge fans of this kid and want to see him do well.
How is it that he hasn't won an event this big since 2016? That was a pro junior event.
Yeah, this could just be a momentum changer for Griffin Colapinto, and he had his best year on the championship tour. He's already starting the second season at the World Surf League, the Challenger Series that we're just starting right now off with a bang. So bright future for Griffin Colapinto. We already know that.
Yeah. It was so fun to see Caitlin Simmers do that post-heat interview right there, too. That was the best moment of the event for me.
Well, you guys, let's check out something because I love this. This is the Super 73 Ride of the Day. Let's check it out.
This young man, Huck, a full rotation. He gets a bigger re-entry there, so.
Oh, yes. And there you go, an 8-point ride for Nolan Raposa. The beach goes wild. Another epic quarterfinal in the books.
Well-deserved ride of the day from Super 73 for Nolan Raposa. His whole energy, his surfing, the hair, the whole thing was absolutely great. Well, We got more for you, so stick around. We're going to take a break, but we're going to be back with more of the post show right after this. Cuervo Surf Ranch Classic. That's going to happen September 29th over at the Surf Ranch, and it is going to be a show. You can tune into WorldSurfLeague.com for all the action. I'll be up there talking about longboarding, and I'm excited to see it. We're going to have, when we left the longboard series, we had Joel Tudor out in front in the men's division, and we had Kelis Kaleopa'a for the women's. Rosie, Joel Tudor, if he wins the longboard series and a world title there, he will be the oldest world champ in the history of pro surfing.
Wow. I mean, I feel like that guy's got the fountain of youth on his side. He never looks a day over 20 plus something, okay? But yeah, I mean, wow, what an incredible talent.
Yeah. So we're going to get to that. I can't wait. September 29th is the date again. But we got to get caught up on the Challenger Series. The Challenger Series started right here at Mitchell in Huntington Beach. We got 3 more events, but now we've established the race. And now we've established some rankings for the Challenger Series. Let's take a look at the women's rankings on the Challenger Series. Obviously, Gabriella Bryant on top because she's carrying over another event total, right?
Yeah, from Manly in 2020, and that was a big finish for her, especially counting towards the rankings right now. But what I'm surprised about is to see the diversity in the back end of those 5 places. Brisa Hennessy, number 5, she's looking to requalify. Vagina Fierro, number 7, and how about Leticia Canales Bilbao from España in number 9?
Oh. And you know, remember, top 6 at the end of this series are going to get those seeds and those places on the Women's Championship Tour. Let's take a look at the Men's Challenger Series as we set up after stop 1 of the Challenger Series. Griffin Colapinto on top. Jay Marco looking good. Liam O'Brien, Rosie, really impressed by this young man, and I see more coming from him.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he had a huge showing at the Rottnest Island event as a wild card. He also competed at the Surf Ranch as a wild card, so he's had a couple looks, but also a couple double qualifiers on the men's side of the Challenger Series.
Yep. I'm excited about Shun Murakami right now, Mitch, because we could have another representative from Japan on the championship tour.
Shun Murakami in number 6, and how about number 9, Alonso Correa from Peru too. The first Latin American male competitor in 2022 could be a possibility, Kaipo.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at history, remember Alonso Correa, back in the 2019 qualifying series at Sunset, he actually left the competition there at the World Cup to go back and represent his country in the Pan Am Games because Peru helped him out so much. He may have already gone on tour back then. He's going to get another chance, but that just shows you how much talent that young man has.
Yeah, no, and it's a big moment for him too, especially going into Europe. Favorable waves for him, heavy waves in Ericeira, and then going into the beach break in France. That could be a good possibility for him.
All right, you guys, Rosie, Mitch, let's talk top 5 because this is my favorite part of the show. We're going to kick it off with number 5, a young man that I have been a fan of even before this event, but now I'm even more of a backer. Long Beach's own Nolan Raposa.
Yeah, I'm so happy for this guy. I mean, you know, just getting a look at what he's capable of and having to fight back so many challenges. He spoke about the hip surgery that he had done, the knee surgery. There's been so much on the road to this big finish for this guy that he's had to endure to get healthy and be in a place to compete.
The mental strength and just the ability to maintain a good physical construct in a 7-day event window. This is something that few people have been able to do, and especially with handling the pressure at home, he did fantastic.
And just be able to light-foot his way through some of this difficult waters, make the connection, and then compose himself to perform in the reward, the shore break for the closer. And the crew loves it. Great energy for Nolan Raposa. Number 4, Gabriella Bryan, the young lady from Kilauea on the island of Kauai. Rosie, I'm impressed.
I'm so stoked for this young lady. I mean, just seeing the grit and determination through every round. She did not have an easy run through this competition. I mean, she had to defeat the likes of Caroline Marks, Coco Ho. She's had to do it all to get through the veterans to make her place in the final.
And the way she was able to do it too, up against the pilings on the lefts, which normally a lot of people wouldn't have said is her strength. Her forehand is usually her weapon of choice, and to be able to do this not only in the biggest spotlight of her life, but under priority of the other competitors, impressive stuff.
Number 3, the All-California Semis here at the U.S. Open of Surfing Huntington Beach. Nolan Raposa making Long Beach proud with some of his surfing.
Yeah, this guy was just on such a run, such a momentum run, energy shift, just feeling the love and just exuding that energy.
Jake Marshall also making a big statement here at the U.S. Open of Surfing. Mitch.
I was extremely impressed by this kid, Kaipo, the way he was able to use priority, compete in the smartest way possible, and just the ability to convert on his waves, especially on finals day, competing in the first heat of the morning up until the final. The kid did his job, and he did it well.
I know that we are in California, but, you know, this event has been dominated by other nations. The Hawaiians have had a lion's share of event wins. The Brazilians have taken over recently. But to see semifinals and all California showing, it just shows that, you know, these guys want to put their name in the hat.
Not to mention a California winner in the way of Griffin Colapinto, and representing Japan, but he grew up right here. It's Surf City, Mitch.
Well, and it was still an impressive performance by himself. Winning the quarterfinal heat, then up against Griffin in the semis, just wasn't able to win and find his waves really in that semifinal. I got an important stat for you guys though. It's been since 2011 since an American male surfer has won here.
All right, well, Caitlin Simmers is our number 2. The young teenager, just 15 years old. Is this the future of women's pro surfing, Rosie?
Yes, 100%. And I mean, she's proved it. She had to really grit her way through this contest, much like Gabriella. She had more experienced competitors that she was coming up against through the rounds, and she beat them convincingly.
She even said that she's not looking to qualify either, which is the scariest part about it, because her surfing is so free in these kind of waves. And she even said it, you know, when she was up on the podium. It wasn't even that great today, but I made it.
Yeah, she's able to turn, nothing into something, and that's dangerous for competitors.
And our number one moment, we're going to give it up to the champ this year. Griffin Colapinto finally took home the title, bro.
Yeah, just really stoked for Griffin. I mean, there's a happiness that comes with seeing this young man on top of the podium. He's just such a people's champ.
Big support squad, Mitch.
No, and it had been 3 consecutive years where you'd finished quarterfinals or better here. So you think, okay, let's make the final, and this time we actually do have to convert into win. And the way he was able to do it, control the heats from the beginning all the way to the end, especially in the semifinal and the final, started off with a couple of 7s and never looked back, Kaipo.
Yeah, and there's the support squad that we were talking about. They were making noise on the beach all event long, and they got to cheer him up to the podium and to his final moment as the victor.
So cool. I'm so impressed with everything that we've seen at this year's US Open. I think each and every year we come back to Huntington Beach, and it's always just such an amazing show.
Final thoughts?
It's 10 years since a male American champion. We got one. It had been 6 consecutive years before that, though. I think next year is going to be the same case.
Ah, I love it. I love it. And we're just getting going on the Challenger Series. Our next stop, the male Vizsla Pro in Ericeira. We're going to take this whole show, take it to Portugal. So that's when you got to tune in for the male Vizsla Pro Ericeira. That starts October 2nd. All right.
Welcome, surf fans, to the 61st U.S. Open of Surfing Huntington Beach, presented by Shiseido. Starting with the men's quarterfinals, absolutely stacked.
Jake, we talk about rhythm. He has it in this heat.
The California kid, Jake Marshall, getting the win.
Aloha Andino flying high above the lip. He's sure to make that one.
Nolan Raposa moves through the 13-point total. The beach goes wild. Another epic quarterfinal in the books.
Griffin Colapinto.
So polished in his approach. I mean, again, effortless is what comes to mind when I watch him surf.
Lucas Alvarez sets up for a nice hook off the top. Here we go. Loading up for something, looking for a ramp. Launches. Full rotation. Now we're in the final sprint to the podium.
Stoked to be here, stoked to be calling the women's action all week long. These ladies have been battling it out, and here they are on finals day.
Gabriella Bryan, she gets the biggest win of her career, taking out Coco Ho in the semifinals.
Simmers is having a look at this one. Great re-entry to start off with. Gabriella Bryan and Caity Simmers into the finals. We're heading into the men's semifinals. Up first, Jake Marshall and Nolan Raposa.
Nolan Raposa, he throws the air, lands it. Chance for Jake Marshall to take back the lead. Nice off the top there. Big finish, our first finalist in the way of Jake Marshall.
We've just seen Griffin Colapinto take out the legendary Kanoa Igarashi here in Huntington Beach. It's finals time. We're looking at Gabriella Bryan up against Caitlin Simmers. And there we go, ditches the fins again.
Huge moment for 15-year-old phenom Caitlin Simmers. Griffin Colapinto is your U.S. Open of Surfing champion.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.